Without any warning, we're sucking up the oxygen. The room is getting smaller. We always have it coming, like animals who like to bite, tasting our disaster. 20-something seconds go on and on. 20-something seconds go. I'm not ready for darkness. I'm not ready for darkness. I know we can do better. I'm not ready for darkness. If we promise to hold on and to never let go, I'm not ready for darkness. I'm not ready for darkness. Hey, 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 hey. I'm ready to absorb you, feeding all your triggered lies. My ignorance defines you. The roof is gonna cave in, roaring with some dinosaurs, so caught up in the moment. 20-something seconds go on and on. 20-something seconds go. I'm not ready for darkness. I'm not ready for darkness. I know we can do better. I'm not ready for darkness. If we promise to hold on and to never let go, I'm not ready for darkness. I'm not ready for darkness. Hey, 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 if we promise to hold on and to never let go, I'm not ready for darkness. I'm not ready for. I'm not ready for darkness. I'm not ready for darkness. I know we can do better. I'm not ready for darkness. If we promise to hold on and to never let go, I'm not ready for darkness. I'm not ready for darkness. Hey, 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 hey. Wondering how it comes around when you didn't call for help. All alone on the internet, but you don't seem to forget about yourself. Let me tell you about the trees and the seas, how it's all connected. The flowers and the birds and bees, the northern lights, yeah, we're all affected. I belong to you. I belong to you. Do just what you want. You're the one I trust. And I always be around when I need some loving, baby. No one else. Yeah. Let you down. Take me to your heart. I belong to you. Take me to your soul. No one else will let you down. We got everything we need right here. Wine and burning chemistry. You and
Yo!
Yo!
What's up, everyone?
Yo!
Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Glad to see Paginator Report Bear is here and present.
Yes, I am. Oh,
What-
and a special
what about his
guest for
friend?
Matthew Roach.
Ah,
Oh, the
Data
official
Flow's
Data
dogs.
Flow's mascot, Data Flow's dog is here. Oh, man.
oh, Matthew's going to rage quit now. Thank you. Thank
No
you.
problem. And he can't respond via voice. This is great.
He,
I'm going to pay for
he-
this
he
next
could
week.
text me.
Yeah, I would expect some
could-
sort of response.
We could quickly bring him on to just counter. I don't know.
Oh, good. That'd be great. Yeah, like I haven't enough this week going on in my life. Like, please,
Yes.
more.
Yes.
Oh,
So welcome everyone. Gynacube live stream Saturday mornings, live as hashtag SML, as folks have passionately referred to. Chris Finlan, thank you for joining us this wonderful morning after Ignite.
of course.
It's always
Yep.
appreciated.
Oh, you know I love coming on.
I heard there was some things that happened last week that maybe you may know even more.
Oh, you mean
details
about work? You mean about work?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, there were.
Yes. Some
Were a few
announcements were made, and
Yes.
very, very excited things, and a lot of positive buzz on the interwebs. So happy to have you here to help answer some of those questions as they may come in.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yes. And then special shout out to our members. If I can get all of these right. Special shout out to our members of Guy in a Cube. You guys help us do what we do and help support us. We very much appreciate it. If you see folks with the green name or the little Guy in a Cube badge next to them, those are the members of Guy in a Cube. Very much appreciated. And if you see the folks with the blue name with a little gear next to them, those are the moderators of the channel. So they help keep things civil here in the chat because it goes bananas sometimes. So yes. So if you're interested in becoming a member, there's a little join button down below. If you're on the browser, I think it's over on the side. If you're on a mobile device, no pressure. Just you can check it out and see if it fits. We just thank you so much for even checking it out and just even participating. If this is your first time to Guy in a Cube, either the live stream or Guy in a Cube in general, put hashtag new in the chat. We always like seeing the new faces. Love seeing the new faces all around. It's always amazing. And then for questions, be sure to get your questions in. Put a Q colon in front of it. Chatmaster C is standing by to get those queued up. You only have to do it once. Please don't spam the chat. If you do spam, we have a 3 strikes rule, and you will get put into a timeout. So those moderators with the gear are standing by with those timeouts. So if you want a timeout, feel free to spam. That's fine. I don't know why you would.
So I saw you gave Bogdan moderator privileges? That's probably very dangerous.
This was because of the last time you were on, and he wanted to participate in the chat. Great segue, Chris. So after the 30-minute mark, we will go to members only chat, so where only members can participate and the moderators as well can participate. And so if you want to become a member, you can do that. Just know that you will still be able to watch the stream, but to participate in the chat, once we go to members only mode, you have to be a member or a moderator to participate. And so if you're not sure, Bogdan is part of the Power BI product team. And so by definition, he is also a great heckler of Chris Finlan. And so he got moderator rights to participate.
I would argue I'm a great heckler of Bogdan Cravat.
I would agree with that too. I would also add that Bogdan is bald as well, so we appreciate that.
That is that's probably his finest quality.
Yes. All right, so we got a ton of new. So we got Adam Smith, we got Dizzy Harris. Thomas is a lurker. We appreciate you, Thomas. Let's see what else. Who else we got? Gal C. We've got Jim J says he's new to the live show. Awesome. Burning's a veteran. Awesome to see. Steven D'Souza is new. Tom is new. Tom just goes by Tom, just like Prince. So that's good to know. And you are most welcome for the content we put out. Awesome to see. All right. So, Chris, anything you want to call out before we get into the questions?
Hopefully folks saw the price announcement this week for premium per user. $20 standalone, $10 add-on.
Way too expensive.
It broke Patrick's bank.
See, we're off to a rousing start this morning. $10 add-on if you're an existing Pro or E5 user. I know for the last 5 months, you all have been giving me quite a hard time to announce said price, and hopefully you're happy with where it landed. I am very, very happy with where we ended up. I can tell you that I don't normally pat myself on the back for these things, but I went back through my old emails. I spent over 3 months specifically on the price point to ensure that it landed at a place that I thought was fair. And the product team and Microsoft is happy and the community is happy. And so I think that, it really was a satisfying week, and I'm glad people are excited. I was just telling Patrick before the show, everybody, oh God, here we go. Jaime's up, great. So I was telling Patrick before the show, I've already seen an uptick in Pagina Report's tweets, LinkedIn articles, the Laura's video series. People are all excited about watching now. This is great. I mean, this is exactly the point. Is it was meant to unlock this at a lower price point to give people this entryway into those features, and you're going to see again additional capabilities coming to premium throughout this year and going forward. So I'm very, very excited and gratified that it has all come together as it has.
Love it.
And then at the same time, I'm also frightened that Jaime is up this early and on here because that is usually not good news for me.
Yeah. Also, real quick before we get into the questions, there was just going to big shout out to Otto, who is someone that works on the works with the Power BI Cat team. He's also a supporter of Guy in a Cube. Just overall great guy. And he's got a friend that is in Venezuela. Ali, oh my gosh, I should have wrote it down. Ali was the guy. I will do a proper shout out on the interwebs. But he did a drawing just out of the blue. And so I just wanted to show you what that was. He did this for Patrick and I, not prompted at all. I thought it was awesome. So Patrick looks very happy and excited, which I always like to see. So that's always a good day.
Hey,
so
at least in this picture, your head is much bigger than mine. So,
that is true. That's true.
That is an excellent point. You know, as a bald man, that is always a concern with those caricatures, is just how big the head is drawn. So, and I know, Bogdan, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
This just goes to show that this picture is not reality, right? So because
no, I think that actually is an accurate reflection of the head sizes.
Okay. Patrick always likes
hey, you
to
put Jaime on first, so you want to trigger me. That's fine.
Patrick always likes to share the story of the time where he had to walk in the room sideways because his head was too big to get into the door into the room. So, you know.
Well, that wasn't my head. That was just my ego. Just
I was about to say that was just a metaphorical head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man.
Yes.
And I did see some of the other devs on the team or in the chat. John Ludwig is in there, so good to see them supporting their favorite bald PM. It's their only bald PM. But,
yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's do start off. Matthew's got a comical thing we will start off with. Who has 2 thumbs and was voted most likely to be eaten by bears?
This guy.
Still love the picture we used for the thumbnail. Was it Ignite that we were at where we did that interview?
No, this was from 3 years ago, and I'm like, okay, I really need a new picture.
Yeah.
Because I said, just use that picture before, and now I'm like, I really want a new one.
But what's funny though is when we did that video and we did the thumbnail for it, and I showed it to you, you're like, what? Where? I'm like, dude, that was you in we set that up, and you're like.
Yeah, and you said, I'm using that picture from now on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So let's start off Matthias, as always, except for last week, because I didn't go with you first, but we'll do it this time. Most relevant Ignite feature for me, Excel linked to Power BI datasets, service instead of desktop. Is it also for Pro or only Premium?
So
I think we're referring to the Excel Online piece.
Yes, the Excel Online piece. So the one thing, I don't know. I would assume you need a Pro or Premium per user license to publish
or Premium capacity.
But to publish them,
that'd be Pro.
That would be Pro or Premium per user, standalone. But the thing you will need is some sort of Office plan. So you're going to need something like an eSKU to have SharePoint Online and OneDrive for Business to back that to ensure you can use Excel Online. So I don't know for sure the licensing for this, but that's my understanding as it stands 7:40 a.m. here on the West Coast.
I would agree. I concur.
I was like, I guess you guys are just going to leave me hanging here?
No, I was typing something in the chat, so I was muted a little bit. Unlike Patrick, I try to mute myself when I type, so.
I see. Well, this is why Patrick's my favorite.
No, I agree. You're right, Chris. Yeah.
I
mean,
okay.
All right.
That's all I need.
Yes. All right. Daniel's got a question here. Whoa. Is it possible to create a data flow to get data from an Oracle DB on a third-party server? We can pull data from Oracle to SQL Server on-prem, but can't install a gateway. If so, what are the steps to take? So that's all Chris Finlan right there.
Wait, let me grab Dataflow's dog to handle this. Well, luckily, Bogdan Cravat is on in the chat, and I'm sure he'll just type up a response. For
Yes,
because,
yes.
I mean, it sounds so. To be fair, it sounds like it should be possible.
No.
You don't think
You
so?
need a
You gotta have
gateway.
a gateway.
You got to have a gateway.
You gotta have a
What
gateway.
if you just use
Gotta have a
what if you
gateway.
just use SQL as a link server, like Oracle and then SQL as a link
Well,
server?
Sure, but how's SQL going to
You
connect
still
to the
gotta have a
on-prem
gateway to
server?
get to the sequel.
Yeah, how's SQL going to
Well,
get
sure.
to it?
I was assuming
Yeah.
both are on-prem, and then you go and have this gateway.
Yep. So if SQL's
Gotta have a
on-prem, you
gateway.
still need a gateway.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're reading this as he can install a gateway. Period. I see.
Yeah. Yeah. He said can install
I
a
think that's-
gateway. So
We can pull
Yeah.
data from Oracle to SQL on-prem, but can't install a.
right. So even if
How
you
do they
do that
pull-
and pull it into SQL, like we still need a gateway to get
Yeah.
to an on-prem.
You need
source.
some way to get it up in the cloud. Well, can you do a link server with Azure?
There's
DB?
Bogdan. Look at Bogdan's response.
Yeah.
Bogdan, you need a gateway
I'm
for
lying.
anything on-prem.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was just asking the question with Azure SQL DB. Can you do link servers now? I don't remember.
But again, Azure SQL DB, how does it connect to your on-prem? It has no idea that it exists. There's no
I don't
network
know
path.
that. I don't know that Azure SQL uses the anyway.
yeah,
So,
it,
I
yeah,
am
it
not
doesn't.
the best
It
person
does
for
not.
this question.
It does not.
No. You need a gateway for anything on-prem. Okay,
Yes.
fine.
Yes.
Thank you. That's good.
So think about it from a network perspective, like empathing, like how does it physically talk to it? That would actually be really scary if that worked without a gateway.
Well, I just don't know what the Azure SQL DB communication protocol is with
Yeah.
on-prem.
Yeah. I don't think it can
Put it
do
in the
that at
cloud.
all. Yeah,
Put it
because
in
you
the
got to use
cloud.
something like Azure Data
it in the
Factory to get
cloud,
data into SQL.
Oh, sure.
So
That's fair.
yeah.
Put
All
it in
right.
the cloud. Put it in the
All
cloud.
Yes. All right. Lance has a question here. Will paginated
Okay.
reports ever be supported in Power BI release pipelines? I mean, I think deployment pipelines.
Yes, and I think it's this month.
Yeah. Yes.
This month.
That is my
So,
understanding.
We
as
talked
well.
about
I think
this,
it's
Chris. I think you and I talked about.
Yeah, no. So
we talked
they
about
let me
this.
know. I think it's actually internally already available.
Ooh,
So it should be out in production by the end of the month.
nice. Nice. And then also data flows is coming as well. So that is
Yes,
in the
but
release
not
plan.
This month. Not
Correct.
This month.
Correct. I think it said
Data
June.
flows.
I think it said June for that.
Yeah. It's after paginated reports. That's all I
Yes. Yes. And that's all that matters, right?
I am not a one-trick pony, sir. I finally have a chance
He's
to
got two
confront
now.
you on that.
He's got
I've got
two.
multiple ponies
He's got-
and multiple tricks. Thank you.
Well, definitely PPU and paginated, Chris. You got way more than one.
Subscriptions, exporting to PowerPoint and PDF.
He did help me. He threw me a bone on the
That's
subscription
4.
thing.
That's 4. Ah.
Yes.
That's
So,
4.
hey, I'm okay being wrong. I'm okay being wrong. That's 4.
All right.
Well, that's
you
my
go.
entire life. I'm wrong
Yeah.
quite a bit.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to
know
be
you are.
bouncing around a little bit. I want to make sure to hit. I want to make sure to hit.
Non-member questions. That's fine.
No. I'm member questions are going to be held for the other half. So Marco,
see.
also I saw your question in there. Say repost. You're going to have to repost
Oh.
that when
Could you
when you do that.
block Marco potentially?
Block Marco. I would never block Marco. Never block Marco.
I'm just always afraid he's going to play Stump the Jump with me on some sort of DAX paginated question. So that's my only
right.
concern.
All right. So, but I'm gonna try and prioritize like the PPU and paginated,
Paginated and PPU,
and
yeah.
all that. So let's see here. Cola. How to append data refresh date to a paginated report file name.
So there is a way, and I actually did a blog post on this. If you're using Power Automate to go and if you want to run your paginated report and output it to a specific file format, you can append the date and time that it was updated with the data as part of that output. So that would be the way to do it. It's actually on my blog. I did this quite some time ago, but that's an easy thing to do.
A long time ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was like I think it was 2 years ago. But that would be the way.
That's
I
a
would
long time ago.
Nice.
Yep.
Asif, thank you for becoming a member.
And see, I love those types of questions. Those
Yes.
are nice softball questions for me early in the morning. So
Yes.
thank you.
So
You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this question coming up, Chris. Oh,
Wait.
I bet that usually means I am not going to love this question.
so
No.
also, Marco, just need a heads up there, buddy. If 3 strikes rule, you may get put in a timeout. You're repeating questions there. Just FYI. I don't want the wrath of Chatmaster C to fall upon you. I'm worried about you, sir.
No, you do not.
And I know technically he amended the question. It wasn't a straight repeat. But still, just simmer down. All right, Patrick, which one were you referring to? Because there are many.
No, so it just came in. It's I don't know if you want to skip, but Sohail SOHAIL.
Got it.
AN.
Got it. All right.
Be sure to ask him that question.
Any plan to integrate Power Query within the paginated to transform data sets and build paginated reports?
So not only is there plans, we are actively working on it.
Ooh.
Boom. That's for you, Chris.
Over Bogdan's objection. No.
No, Bogdan is a fair man.
No,
if he objected, there's a good reason.
Do not tell him that. Like, don't tell him.
I like Bogdan. I'm a fan of Bogdan.
I love Bogdan.
I'm a big fan.
Bogdan and I have our best conversations after 9:00 at night.
I took my last work trip right before the vid started with Bogdan, and I got my chance to see him like do his thing. I was blown away. I was blown away. I was blown away. I was taking notes. I was like, oh, I would have never thought to say that. This is some good stuff. No, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
No,
it was
Bogdan's great.
Yeah.
Like the fact he's even on supporting me, considering how much we dislike each other, is amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just
So,
I kid because I love Bogdan.
Jaime said for Power Query, Guilherme is working on it, and no, there is no good reason to stop him.
That is always correct, Guilherme.
Yes.
If you've seen Paginated Reports in a Day, Guilherme is in one of the segments. He is an outstanding developer and a very good friend, but he is amazing. Like a lot of the coolest stuff you see in the product is because of Guilherme.
Yes.
So
awesome. All right. Let's see here. Hot Mess Jess, thank you for becoming a member. Let's see here. All right. Samuel has got one. Could I host a paginated report on a PPU workspace and have a pro user pushing a button which triggers a Power Automate flow exporting that report?
No, you could not, because they couldn't enter the workspace to view the report. Correct.
Yep. So in order to access content in a PPU workspace, you have to have a PPU license. And Chris, it is my thinking true also that even if it's backed with premium capacity, that is still true?
No, if it's backed with premium capacity, it's no longer a PPU workspace.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Good. Yeah, because you have to change it. So yeah, because what marks it as a PPU workspace is because you put it in the PPU capacity.
Yes.
So if you change the capacity to an actual premium capacity, then those rules then apply.
I think one of the things is we're looking at making a UI change to. Originally, I did not want to have something in the capacity dropdown. I wanted to have a separate thing to say premium per user. So the whole idea is that there's no capacity. You don't have to worry about it. We take care of everything. But yes, thank you, Matthew Roach. And see, this is why Matthew's such a good guy. He's not holding the Dataflow's dog cameo against me by pointing out the FAQ has a lot of the answers to these questions. But I do think one of the things that might help is taking the premium per user out of the capacity dropdown to kind of separate it more holistically. But you need that. If it's a premium per user workspace or app, you need a premium per user license to consume content in there. There is one caveat to that in that you can subscribe pro users to content so they can get the email, because otherwise people just forward the emails around. But if they try to go back to the service, they need a premium per user license.
Yep. So also in regards to David's comment about what he keeps hearing, there's an image that Matthew has floated around a couple times that aligns with that. Yes. All right. Moving on. Let's see. All right. Wait, no, we already answered. He had a double question. So let's do... It's probably going to be the same thing. Ricardo. Patrick is very, very excited. So that's why that's why I'm just going to go back to that, right? Because he's happy there. All right.
I was just reading. I was reading a question.
Yes.
Guys,
so
we're not breaking our premium business model for premium per user. Like you need a premium per user license to access the content, whether you're publishing it or viewing it in a workspace or app backed by premium per user.
Yes.
Period.
And it's Whoa, how did that happen?
It's an additional $10 on top of Pro.
Yes.
It's so cheap. It's so cheap. It's so cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's weird is like that question, that specific question or the flavor, like we already had two that are along the same lines, is that question keeps getting asked. So there's definitely confusion, but as Matthew so kindly pointed out, it's in the FAQ. So definitely check out the FAQ and make sure. And if something's still confusing, like, give feedback and it can be updated.
Also, one of the things in the FAQ was, so I, as many people know, I came from the Microsoft field, and the table that's in there was something that the field said, use this table because this is what we need to show customers because this makes it very clear of what you can and can't do.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Emu's got a question here. Does Paginated Report support BigQuery without a gateway?
We do not. We support ODBC coming. Actually, ODBC support's coming later this month. You can use it through Gateway, but we do not have direct connectivity to BigQuery. Now, once we have Power Query support, we'll have a number of options independent of the existing data options. But Patrick seems to have a question.
Go, Patrick.
Finish. I want you to finish what you're saying. Then I'm gonna say something.
I finished. I'm done.
But if I create a Power
it was just an awkward
if
end.
I create a Power BI, if I create a Power BI data set connected to BigQuery, publish the data set, open up Report Builder, do I need a gateway?
No, you don't need a gateway doing there. But
well,
there you go.
It depends.
That feels a little strange.
It depends.
Well, it does depend.
Yes, Adam. Yes.
If you have BigQuery behind a VPC in Google, then yes, you need a gateway.
Yeah. But if you don't, right?
Which is like a firewall.
I was completely separating the whole Power BI data set as a data source.
Yes. Excellent. All right. Okay. Akil's got one. This is Premium Gen 2, not PPU.
Okay.
Is auto-scaling only applicable to CPU and not RAM? We have a 20 gig model in P1 Gen 2, which is failing a full process. Only process clear and process full works. Wanted to know if auto-scaling helps. Interesting.
So auto-scaling only adds cores to your subscription. It does not add anything in terms of RAM.
Yeah. Memory is separated now.
Yes.
You shouldn't do a full refresh. That's going to be.
Yeah. One of the things that's interesting about memory. One of the things that's interesting about memory in Gen 2, because of the way it's now architected, each workload runs independently. So, for example, before it was, hey, you've got this much memory, and all the workloads are sharing that particular memory. Paginated Reports, the memory that's available to that is completely independent to what's available in analysis services in Gen 2. It is completely irrelevant. So when you talk about available memory, that's something that I know they're working on clarifying and providing documentation around exactly how the memory works and what you need to be concerned about there. But that is something where, first of all, that really shouldn't fail. And I would strongly ask you contact support and make sure you're working through that with them. But the auto scaling is only applicable to cores. It doesn't actually move up the amount of memory you have as well.
So I would append that and say that it may actually very well fail for that. But it's interesting that the full refresh worked.
It should take longer, but it shouldn't fail.
No. So what happens is that this is my understanding. The memory situation between Gen 1 and Gen 2 has shifted. And so the memory now is per data set. And it's aligned to the SKU that you have. So for a P1, it's going to be 25 gig per model. But the big misconception people think is like, oh, I can have a 25 gig model. And it's like, well, you have to understand how refresh actually in processing works.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because there's some overhead that goes with that. So you can't exactly have a 25 gig model.
No.
When we're processing, we're going to duplicate the data set potentially, and that takes up space. There's mashup engine items there, so the mashup containers take up space. Query memory takes up space. So there are other factors that take place there, and so that's where you should be looking at if it's that big. Make sure you're using incremental refresh or something like that to break things up a little bit, and that can help reduce the overhead. Go ahead, Patrick.
And because they mentioned process clear, I bet you they're using the XMLA endpoint to process their model, and they're doing a process full very carefully across each one of the items in the model, and not just processing the entire database.
Yeah.
Because if they try to process a full 20 gig database,
that would fail. Yeah, that would fail.
That's gonna fail.
Yeah,
that's gonna fail. So because he mentioned process clear, he's probably clearing it, then processing the tables, doing a process data, then process calculate. He's probably doing a very, very careful approach here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bogdan agrees with my statement.
Yeah.
Which is what Patrick's talking about as well.
Yeah. Do an incremental refresh. Or stay tuned. If you don't read Michael Kowalski's blog that I talked about, you should. He's got something coming out that's definitely going to help you guys with very large data models. Yeah.
So Alex commented also. He's like, but in Gen 2, will those processing overheads be charged against your SKU-based memory limit? So in Gen 2, there is no SKU-based memory limit. It's on the data set. It's not for the whole SKU anymore. That's a big change between Gen 1 and Gen 2. It used to be in Gen 1, it was you had 25 gig period for the entire capacity. In Gen 2 now, that's not true. It's per data set, right?
And
so it's,
per workload.
Correct. Yeah, per workload. Yeah, so data set being one of those workloads. And so...
Yeah, obviously that's the big one right now. But I mean, patching reports, that's completely irrelevant.
Yes. Yep. And so that means I could have now so in Gen 1... if I had, let's say I hypothetically had 3 data sets that were 13 gig each, that would fail, right? Because they could not all load up in a 25 gig mem space. With Gen 2, that should work.
In theory, yeah.
In theory, yeah. So ideally that should work perfectly fine. So, but on the data set though, if you yeah.
I'm committing to nothing. I'm not the Gen 2 guy.
Yes.
I can talk about the patching reports.
This is great.
Yeah. And so
I'm sure this is scintillating for.
Yeah, and so the data set now is where you're going to see the specific like out of memory or things of that nature. So you could hit out of memory on a single data set if you're hitting that upper limit of like for a P1 it's 25 gig. And so if you get close to that and everything that's involved, Marco had a great video talking about memory involved with those things. So that's something to watch so you can get a good understanding of what that is. Hey, Alex, I don't know if you dropped that video. But that's a great
really
video.
Alex with a link? Like, I'm surprised.
Yeah, Alex is the link master. We have a specific command on
actually, one thing that's an interesting thing to point out, and while Jaime's out here, I want to give him credit for this. So one of the major use cases for patching reports is to export unlimited amounts of data. And we've actually done a lot of work recently, and it should be rolling out here by the end of the month, beginning of April, where now we do caching and some other things. So that now really should be the case where you can really export, I don't want to say unlimited, but extremely large data sets, and it'd be much more efficient. And Jaime and team worked very, very hard on that. And again, this is based on customer feedback and what they were looking to use it for. We invested the time there, and so you should see those improvements rolling out here very shortly.
Yes.
Because before it just spooled up all into
Chris
memory.
Finlan.
Yeah. Yes. Well, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm not here for my good looks and charm. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
I always say my dad said I had a face made for radio. And everyone's like, "Oh, your dad was so mean." I'm like, he thought he was being folksy.
Yes. All right. So we are. The last question was good. I like the discussion. We are now at the 30-minute mark, so I am cutting over to member-only chat. Chatmaster C has cleared the queue, so members. So members, feel free to post your questions now. Marco, you can now do that without fear of being put in a timeout. Also, if you are not,
Marco had a
please no, Marco, please don't.
So if you are not a member, you can still watch the stream. You can also definitely. Become a member if you like, but if you want to participate in the chat, members only and or moderators. So be sure to follow along as we get into the member questions. All right, here we go. Are you ready, Chris? We're going to start with Marcos.
Yep.
All right. Was it harder to keep the price low or to avoid a longer name from marketing for the new SKU?
Okay, Marco, I do appreciate this.
That was a good question.
It was harder to keep the price low. It was harder to keep the price low. I can say I won't give too much away, but that was not the originally discussed price.
Or the name.
No, it was not. It was not the original name either. However, that name has been around long enough that's controversial.
Yes.
But thank you, Marco. I like those kind of questions. Swagger has.
That's a good question, Marco.
Yes.
I like that question. I like that question from Chris Wagner.
All right. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. All right, Rishi. Apart from licensing, what are the reasons to choose premium per capacity over premium per user? Multi-geo, isolating workloads to avoid noisy neighbors, etc.
Well, I mean, there's the big part of it is the cost, because the price. I mean, for better or worse, most customers do simple math when they look at these things, and they say, I have X number of users. What's the most cost-efficient way for me to handle that with Power BI? Mm-hmm. There are a couple things. So the unlimited distribution piece is a fairly big deal. So let's say you want to use subscriptions and send it to any email address you want. You can't do that with premium per user. You want to use distribution groups for your subscriptions. You can't do that with premium per user. And then again, the cost price point. But the idea was, hey, it's just a different way to license premium. And people are like, oh, you're the feature owner. I'm like, it's not a feature. It's it's just a way to license the existing features that live in premium. There are some minor modifications, but
when it opens the door to a lot of other folks that couldn't have otherly afford premium per capacity.
Yeah. So I had the Ignite session on Wednesday with some people
businesses
attended, and 8 people raised their hand and said, yeah, I've used paginated reports so far. I said, okay, with the premium per user announcement, how many people are planning to use paginated reports? The number jumped to 22 out of 26.
Yep.
Like, that's the whole point.
The other scenario that I've called out, and we talked about this on Wednesday as well, and I've had this conversation with other customers, like big enterprise customers that are using premium capacity. The questions come up is like, should we even look at premium per user? And I'm like, maybe. Like if you want to do something like a quick POC or development thing without introducing it to the main premium capacity, that's a great use case for that for a large enterprise customer as well. So
yeah, and a lot of companies, even for SSRS, had multiple servers all over the organization. I remember one customer came in for an EBC or something.
There you go, Chris.
And they had like 30-some servers across all over the organization. So it was one group that had standard, and they just need paginated reports for 15 people.
Yep.
Ta-da.
Yep.
That's it. That's it, because it complements PPU. That's what we had a call with someone late yesterday, and they were like, we have all this premium, we're never buying PPU. And I was like, no, you'll buy PPU because you'll have small departments, you'll have small groups of people that don't need a full premium capacity, and it's cheaper, right? And then they get all the other features except for the things that you decided not to include PPU. So no, I think it's complementary.
There was a specific reason for some of those. It wasn't just me like going, I'm not Gladiator or something.
He waved his magic wand and said, you're in,
sure.
you're in,
you're out.
You're not. You're cool. You're cool.
Notice paginated reports, they were included in PPU.
Yeah, you didn't notice that, did you?
Inquiry minds want to know.
Yeah, guess what? I had a very selfish reason to drive this initiative. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like, you can take it or not.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Chris Wagner. What is the base format for a DAX statement to create a dynamic link to a paginated report while passing in parameters?
Well, since you two are the ones that push so hard for this feature, I will let you two answer.
We have a video.
Question.
I did a video on this.
I can't believe Chris.
I think Wagner's
I'll
just
send you a
trolling
link.
me. I think
Alex.
he's just trolling me.
Hey, Alex.
Anything that comes to DAX, I immediately turn.
Hey, Alex.
I think Chris knows the answer, and he's just messing with Chris. I think Chris knows the answer to this.
That
and he's
feels like what this is. I'm just I'll take that from Chris because I like Chris quite a bit, but.
There is. I did do a video on like export, like a new
it's
export.
Already in the. It's in the chat.
Bam! There it is.
Yeah,
Wait, is that the right one?
It is.
Are we sure?
But
hang on, let me look. Whoa! Oh! Something went wrong. Oh no! I killed my my chat. Ooh.
Oh,
that was not good.
I did too.
I did it again. That link is it's causing me problems. So, all right. Anyway, I'm not going to click on that now. Don't click on it in the pop-out chat, Patrick. That's bad news.
I did. Of course I did. I did.
Yes. Okay.
I did
All
already.
Right. We'll just assume it's the right one.
That's my video. That's my video.
Yeah, so I did a
just
video.
showed you how to set up.
Yeah, you did one a while ago.
Yeah. It was
pre-COVID video.
Yes. It was my hack. All right. And Urban. How secure is row level security, and do you think there is a possibility of hacking it to set it properly and data sources are properly secured? You want to take that, Patrick? No, it's
I don't even know what this means. How row level security is pretty secure. It's pretty secure.
It is secure.
It is secure. That's what I'm saying. It feels not
pretty secure.
Like
do you think there is a possibility of hacking it? No. Okay, hacking it. No, I don't think so.
So it gets processed on the data set side based on the user that you've logged in. So like you can't do like
you get to the source.
Yeah. You can't do like a man in the middle on that. So yeah.
Oh, speaking of RLS, there may be support for SSO and SQL Server through the gateway coming soon for paginated reports.
Oh,
wait.
and
paginated reports. I'm like, we've already had that. Oh, paginated reports. Yes.
Oh, yes, the thing that I'm on the show about. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we already had that.
There you go.
Chris. Duh.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
I like that response, Benny.
Yes.
I like that response.
That was good, Benny.
Yep.
All right. Let's see here. PA Beater. When will we be able to have multi-column reports inside of a sub-report?
Not soon. Like, we haven't had it so far.
How long's paginated reports been out?
Like, it's been around since 2004.
17.
Yeah.
It hasn't bubbled up to the top of the backlog.
Yeah. Just hang in there. Hang in there.
Yeah.
One day.
Don't say
hilarious.
that. No.
One day.
I mean, no, being totally transparent, like, that's not on our radar. Sorry.
It's an honest
No,
answer.
I want to give him a fair answer. I'm not going to sugarcoat it like, oh, it's on the backlog.
Yep. Just hang in there.
Stop it.
All right, Alex. Will we expect to see more updates to Report Builder on a regular, semi-regular cadence? Curious for our friends in IT in pushing the installer.
Are you curious? You're curious, Alex.
Alex is very curious. He's a curious individual.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like Alex.
He is.
The plan. So, I think one of the things you're going to see here over the coming months. I've talked many times about doing a web-based authoring experience for paginated reports, and that's the direction we're heading. I don't think you're going to see us snapping to a more regular release cadence of Power BI Report Builder anytime soon, just because our focus is modernizing that authoring experience in a new web-based interface over the coming months and years. So that's going to be the direction. So we don't have any plans to suddenly start shipping that every month or something. And in fact, a lot of customers complain if we were to do that more because they can't keep up with those types of releases.
Which I think was Alex's point.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, well, I can never tell with him, so.
No, it was clear in the question that was his.
Well, he's curious for our friends. Like, what friends are he?
But he said IT pushing the installer. Like, that was the concern of like if it's more regular. Like, that's one of the challenges around Power BI Desktop for folks that are packaging that and having to test it.
Yeah.
So one of the things I know people sometimes ask about the Windows Store with Power BI Report Builder. That's something we're looking at as well. I don't know that we'll actually go and do that, but there is somebody on the team who's actively investigating that.
Yeah. So. Cool. All right. And Shabna?
True story. No one actually has friends in IT.
Yes. Yes. I do agree with that.
That's great. I love that.
So, Shabnab, thank you for becoming a member of Guy in a Cube. Very much appreciate it. I hope you are well.
Yeah,
that's great.
Longtime friend of both Patrick and I. And the community in general. Also, Alex, I noticed your 12-month badge there, buddy. Thank you for the continued support over the last year. It's amazing. And then Alex also said maybe this was related to Report Builder, but do web authoring of paginated.
Yeah, I mean that's
just get that done.
Yeah, sure.
I think that falls into the same. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say this is specifically Bogdan's fault. We haven't made more progress here.
I was going to say maybe that falls into the same category as PA Beater, where it's like just hang in there.
No.
Okay.
That's something we're actively working on.
Oh.
That was what the session at Ignite talked a bit about. Kind of our initial thoughts.
Yeah, I thought that was more specifically around Power BI reports, not paginated.
No, I did that on purpose.
Okay.
I did that on purpose.
Okay. Excellent. Let's see here. So Rodrigo got a question that we've answered before. This has been a common thing. How do we do version control in Power BI? So it depends what you mean by version control, but I'll just do a quick answer here. We've said this before. I should do a video on this. Really there is no direct version control of a Power BI desktop file. It's just a binary file. You can version control the model just from like a scripting perspective, like tabular editor and whatnot, and use a developer experience around that, publishing through the XMLA endpoint. If you have premium deployment pipelines is a way to move those things across. The Azure DevOps and GitHub integration for deployment pipelines is coming, but there's no true like version control. One thing I've seen a lot of folks highlight on is using OneDrive or SharePoint document libraries, and I see folks in the chat, Alex chimed in on that as well. That's a common approach because it's really version control on the binary of the Power BI desktop file. So it's not like typically people, when they say version control, they want diff over the items and merging and things of that nature, and that's just not available today. It is for RDL files. So you can
I wasn't gonna say
I knew you were gonna. You were thinking it though. I felt it.
I wasn't. I was thinking it. But
There was a disturbance in the force, and
to be accused of being a one-trick pony, I just observed.
All right. Laura's got a question. Will Report Builder be getting more updates? And love how people will be using it more.
So, I mean, we'll be updating Report Builder, Power BI Report Builder, and I think one of the biggest things we're trying to do is provide more training and guidance and blogs. I think one of the mystery PM in the team who had a few blog posts out about a month or so ago, three or four, I think at this point. We're trying to educate the community more, but again, we have to kind of choose which direction we go here, and we're putting our energy into the web-based authoring experience. So yes, it'll be getting updates, but the focus moving forward is really to try and put together a more modern web experience.
You know what I'm curious about, Chris, is
I do not.
What's wrong with Report Builder today? And so, Laura, when
this is the most loaded question of the entire chat.
When you say more updates, more love, what are you looking for? That's what I'm curious about. We've had this conversation, you and I and other guys on other PMs and other engineers about Report Builder, and you know how I feel about Report Builder. And so I'm just curious, Laura, what is it? What are you guys looking for?
Oh yeah, what would you like to see?
Report Builder. Yeah.
So,
yeah. So
also,
he said it looks like it's 2012.
It does look like it is in 2012. We haven't changed anything. We've just put a new coat of paint on it. Guess what?
Did you even do that?
You're right.
I don't even know that you did that.
You have to do splash screen. No, the new splash screen.
Oh, splash screen. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Sure.
They did.
It's got a new name.
Yeah.
Couple new things.
So
Nick's
Tom,
got
wait.
Nick,
Hold up. Thomas also asked, RDL is still XML. Yes, the RDL file. If you just go
it's
look
a publicly
at it.
documented file format, so we can't just quickly change that. So
yep,
it's still XML, but it's a lovely XML. Thank you, Jaime.
Yes,
that's very good.
Yes. It's the best XML.
It's the best XML.
Best.
So Laura has a list, so I'm gonna ask her. Laura, can you send?
I'll put it next to Paul Turley's list of 102.
Patrick, we're actually on this thing called the live stream. You could have just said it on the stream as opposed to just typing it.
I like how he says when he types it.
I'm just saying.
Report Builder is fine, but it's not as polished or intuitive as other MS products in 2021. I know, okay? Trust me, I am well aware of the shortcomings of Power BI Report Builder, Microsoft Report Builder, any version of Report Builder that we currently have in market. I understand. That's why we're focusing on a new web-based authoring experience. So look, it's just fine. Stop playing with
How do you like?
I
how
don't.
I incited that, right?
Can you tell? It actually got me irritated. So thank you. Thanks a lot. I'll remember this when we talk on Monday, sir.
I feel like I incited that whole thing.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. So.
Like I haven't been dealing with enough this week.
Ooh.
Sure.
Yes. All right. Let's move on. We have other.
They're
questions.
not really getting under my skin, Chris. I'm just.
No.
No,
This
not
is,
Chris.
You have
Not
to
that,
understand
not
Chris
no.
Finlan, and he's very tough-skinned, and like he's.
Yeah.
It takes a lot
Yeah.
to ruffle his feathers. Although we don't have feathers, so
Yeah, I was about to say. Like,
that's why it's very hard.
right over my head, but. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Michael had a question. What is this? Are there plans to integrate MS Forms into Power BI and connect directly against the data from the surveys, or include into Dataverse, work around with Power Automate and Azure SQL? That actually came up this last week. I heard someone ask that question as well. Patrick, go ahead.
So if you're using Forms, I don't know about any integration. I don't think there's any things integrated with Power BI, but it depends on where you create the form. If you go to forms.microsoft.com and create the form there, it puts the Excel in a place that you actually have to download it. If you go into Excel online and create the form from there, it creates the Excel. Maybe I should do a video on this. It creates the Excel file in the OneDrive, and you can connect to that OneDrive, and you can refresh it. You can get the path to it and do everything you need instead of downloading that Excel file every time. So I was trying to think of a video this week. Maybe that'll be my video for this week.
You should do that.
Thank you so much.
Gives
Thank
you a
you
little-
so much. I've been struggling.
Gives you a little insight into how we come up with ideas and how much someone asks is like, wow, do you do your stuff like weeks ahead of time? No.
So put James Bartlett's question or comment in the thing.
Okay. Why is everyone complaining?
You want Microsoft to spend precious dev hours updating an app that will be useless in a few years. It
Why
will
would
not
it-
be useless in a few years.
It's been around
That is-
for
that is the great myth.
17
That is the
years
great
and
myth.
it's still useful.
I don't know why. I don't know if he's trolling or not, but I
don't-
guarantee if you want to do many report types in a few years, you will not be able to do it in Power BI Desktop. I will bet money on that. So I can't tell if he's just trolling or not, but that's an incorrect statement.
Well, and I've heard this before, and I think this goes to there's a place for both a paginated report and a Power
Yes.
BI report, and the
That's the
interactive
point.
reports are not going to fill that need
No,
of what
and
paginated
nor are
is
they
doing.
planning to try.
Yeah.
They're not planning to go do that.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
like that's just a misconception. And you
Yep.
know,
You just got to understand.
I'm happy to
and
clear
Chris,
it up.
we
but-
did this.
Yes.
We did this.
Exactly.
We did a session on this, and so you just need to understand when, why, and
that's
always
the one-
Somebody,
Patrick, is that the one at Embaz where I changed the schedule on you? That was that session.
You just can't let that go, can you?
He brings it up too. It's
I know,
it's still a
but-
pain point.
No, but in all seriousness, like, look, I would not use Power BI Report Builder to go create a clicky, draggy, droppy report. That's not the point.
No,
but that doesn't
no,
mean that all of those
no,
business
no.
documents and other use cases are suddenly disappearing. Like, that's just, I mean, it's just an incorrect statement.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
look at Matthew's comment.
Where was Matthew? Hang on.
We've
Hang on.
got
Where is
great
it?
news for you.
I'll never forget that.
Oh, that
day.
was an experience.
I'll never forget that day.
Matthew, I hadn't talked to Patrick yet in the morning, and Matthew, I saw him walking over to Patrick, and I'm like, no. And then Patrick gave me that look of like, I'm like, damn. I was gonna break it softly to Patrick, and Matthew just comes out with the facts of like, hey, by the way,
He came out with his sword. He just came out with his sword. And
it was
like,
gonna be in late afternoon, and Patrick was excited. He's like, great, I'm gonna get to hang out with some friends tonight, and we'll enjoy ourselves. I'm like, by the way, your session is now at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's like, and yeah, he let me know in that session too. He was not pleasant, but I would dare say that was
No,
probably the
he
best
was
ratings.
not.
He was not pleasant towards me at all, but I would say that he probably got the best ratings out of any session he's ever done. And I was just blown away.
It's
That room
Well,
was
you should have
packed.
seen.
really good.
You should have seen the session that Patrick and I did at Ignite that you signed us up for last Saturday. Like that was a killer session. I was like, I'm sitting on my couch. I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, I don't have a session.
That was
Ignite.
Patrick's response too. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. We still have some time here. Bargov. There's two parts to this. There was one option in Power BI Desktop December update where we can view hidden columns, which was missing in the February update. Was it removed? Okay. The other one is a separate question, so we'll go with this one. I have no idea. I don't know specifically what.
No, it's still there. Well, so when you hide a column, if
Oh,
I
yeah,
hide
yeah,
a
yeah.
column,
Yeah.
if I'm assuming he's talking about in the field view. So if I hide a column, then right click, I can say view hidden.
Yeah, so one thing so there is the new model view preview and also the field list preview thing, which are preview options. So I'd have to play around with it on and off to see like what the behaviors are. I always turn every preview option on, so that's I would just say do that and just go with the wind, and So I'm not aware of it going away. Like, yeah, Patrick. So do you want to show it real quick, just to show that it's still there? I can go over to your desktop.
Oh yeah, head over. Go ahead, I'll show you.
All right. You're gonna have to zoom in there.
Sounds
Though.
real.
You're gonna have to
zoom
zoom in.
in. I will zoom in. So, if you go and right click, you see there's view hidden, and this is February. So if I click it, I don't want to click it, but if I click it, it's gonna show tons and tons of hidden columns.
Yeah.
Right. They're all there, and then I can click it and uncheck it. So I think that's what you're talking about.
Does that work when you're on the actual model view? I don't think it does.
Let's go see. All right.
Maybe that's what he was referring to.
Right click. Oh, look.
Well, do it on a
not
field.
there.
Do it on an actual field, not the table.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. No.
Okay.
But look,
So that-
you can see them. You can because the hidden ones, they're there.
Right.
So
Yeah.
while I don't need view hidden. Yeah. Oh, this is cool. I got another video.
Well, but you already had. You were going to do a video on the new model view, so it's just
I
part
forgot
of that.
about it.
My
I forgot
report
about
is
it. I
in
forgot about
model. I don't know what that means.
it. He's in the model view. Somewhere in the model view.
Okay. Yeah. So, but you can do it on the report view. So cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But they automatically show the hidden ones in the model view. I bet you that's what he's talking about. They automatically show them.
All right. Dizzy's got a question here. Oh, let's go back to us. That'd be helpful.
And star wipe, and we're clear. Sorry, that's it.
Sure.
That was the Simpsons.
All right. Dizzy's got a question. Also, I approve of your profile picture. I like it. I've got timeout errors when I attempt to run the first load. The previous load, so I don't believe it's a network issue. How do I troubleshoot it? So I'm assuming, I'm going to make some assumptions here. We're talking about refreshing of the model. And when we go to do the, well, but you said run the first load, but you said it already previous load works. So how is it the first load? If a preview, the preview loaded. Got it. Preview, that wasn't previous, that was preview. So the preview loads, which is not all the data. And then when we try to do the actual refresh, I don't know if we're doing timeouts inside of Power BI Desktop or that's in the service. If it's in desktop, check your data source. There may be some options there for increasing timeout. There is a default timeout for connectors. So for example, let me jump over to my machine real quick and let's see if this actually did something here. Come on. Why? I think I broke my machine here. That's excellent. Power BI Desktop broke my machine.
That's fascinating.
Oh my goodness.
You know what wouldn't break a machine? Power BI Report Builder.
It's like trying to catch up to me. I'm moving things too fast.
No. He just needs to get a Surface Book. Book.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right.
That was not
That's
where
what
I
it
was
is.
expecting you to go with that.
Yeah.
He just needs to, that machine that he has is just not gonna fly. It doesn't have enough memory.
All right, check this out. So this is this is dependent on the source that you're using, but under advanced options, there is this command timeout in minutes, and so you can increase that. So by default, I think it's like 60 seconds or something. So You can bump that up to like 10 minutes. I don't know what the timeout. I don't know how long it's timing out after, but check that out. The other thing is if it's in the service, there's a hard timeout of 2 hours on a refresh for non-premium, and premium is a 5-hour timeout. And so if you are hitting those, start looking at incremental refresh. All right, cool. Oh, let's go back to us. I forgot to do that again. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Anything? Yeah, let's go to a SIF. You can hide the data across the report in the app using row level security, but you still see the report listed in the app. Can we hide the report based on the role? The answer there is no. Nope. So if it's in the app, they have access to the app, they're going to see the report. So there's not a way to conditionally
hide things.
You can hide the item in the app, but it's not based on role or
Not
permissions. Right.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
So if that's something you really want, go to ideas.powerbi.com. I know it's out there, voted up. This has also come in different flavors. So idea of like doing folders with specific access lists within a workspace, ability to control access on individual items in an app, or having multiple apps per workspace. A lot of different flavors kind of around the same kind of concept, or that the end desired goal of being able to conditionally allow people to see certain types of content within a workspace. So definitely go vote it up.
But can you, the previous question about
Yes.
I know we passed it, but
okay.
Dizzy just added a little more context. You see it? Do you see it?
It's in the
It's
service.
in data flows.
I built the data flow in the service and it's failing the first load. Okay. So I would still go around the same thought process of checking out from a connector perspective. I don't know what the data source is. So check out the actual timeouts for that data source, what you're going against. Incremental refresh can be done with data flows as well. So I don't know if that applies. Yeah. Past that, you may have to open up a support ticket to dig in deeper. So cool. All right. Let's see here. Rishi, let me go with Tom first. Tom, follow up on row level security. When using row level security, only the machine data is pulled into the model, or only the matching data is pulled into the model, or is it all data? Okay, so row level security has to do with the model itself. So you pull in data, the data is all there. Row level security ends up saying, like, what do we actually show from a visual, like if a query is executed against that model, what's actually returned? So it adds additional filtering on the back end to prevent certain conditions from showing that data. So the data is loaded in. So it's already in the model. No, it does
work. So I'll put on my one trick pony hat there. It does work a little bit differently in paginated reports, but that wasn't the question.
Yes. Well, maybe if it's hitting a data set. If it's hitting a data set.
Yes, it depends. But there are situations where you're going to, because you can go directly against the data source.
Yes. Well, and even direct query, because you could do row level security over direct query, and that's again. But again, if you look at it, the queries that are going back, it's adding predicates onto the SQL statements that are being issued. So, which is filtering the data.
For direct query.
Yes, for direct query. Yep. Which honestly, for data sets, it's kind of doing the same thing, right? We're adding predicates to filter down the data based on the role.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing. And I like that I'm using my big word predicate. All right, Rishi, following on from Benny's comment, can we have dev test workspaces as PPU and prod as premium per capacity within the deployment pipeline?
Absolutely.
I guess you'd have to do it after the fact, because the way deployment pipelines works is you inject one workspace. So you either inject it as dev or as prod, and then you generate the other two workspaces, and so they're going to align to whatever the parent workspace is, and then you change it after the fact.
Well, Nimrod, I believe, had a blog post on this, but this is specifically one of the cases they want to support. So it definitely is something that they'll be advocating and telling people absolutely they can do. I don't know if they're changing exactly the steps, but they did a blog post specifically to trumpet this use case.
Yep. Well, and so Rishi, when you're creating them, though, worst case is once those workspaces are created for the deployment pipeline, those are individual workspaces, so you can go in there and then change like which capacity it's on. So that's an option. Cool.
I would double check the blog post that Nimrod did, but I know that. I mean, that was one of the exciting things about Premium per User was for that use case.
Nice, nice. And Wyatt, thank you. He appreciated my big boy word predicate.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you gonna be a guest on Conjunction Junction?
Really, what's your function?
Yeah,
working on.
The three of us will understand what Conjunction Junction
gosh.
is. I'm not sure everybody out there will.
Probably not. All right.
Just show our age a bit, but.
All right. So
Chris,
we are.
I'm just the bill. I'm just the bill.
I'm only a bill.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. I
Yeah.
remember that.
Now
All
he's
right.
singing. He's singing.
Yeah, I'm singing. It's 8:30.
I feel copyright. I feel copyrights coming on. But anyway,
Sure. The
right,
bill
folks.
comes after us.
we are at time. Chris, thank you so much for joining us as always.
Hey, anytime. You know I love coming on.
Love it. Everyone, have a great rest of your weekend. We will see you next week and out on the interwebs.
Awesome.
See
Thanks,
ya.
everyone. Bye.